Hello, my students, how are you? Well, today it's a new topic, it's a new class, and I hope you're just doing great at home. Oh, I have changed my position, and today I am in my living room, so I hope you like it. Well, it's a cold day. I hope you just wearing some warm clothes like I am doing now. And well, it's going to start the class. Uh, I want you to take a look at this picture. And here we've got a little girl. And this little girl also, I don't know, she's just trying to sell something. She's trying to get money on her own. And here we've got two children, and they are just getting over her. And here says psychiatric health and 5 cents. The doctor is in. So when they come in, they have to go to the doctor. And these pictures explain what the topic of today is going to be. Here we've got another one, which is giving an advice. How can you help people just by giving advices in general? Maybe you have got a chance one day that you were in trouble, you didn't know what to do, but there's always one person who could help you. Or maybe you could get someone else so you can ask for an advice. And that is what we are going to be talking today, giving advices. How can you do that? In this second picture, we've got is a teacher and also a student. And you know that, of course, students are always going to ask for help to the teachers. And they are going to be also so open to help you in any kind of case you've got, maybe a question, a doubt, or just a personal problem, maybe. But that is why we are here for. Yes, that is the reason what we are here for you. Okay, what is giving an advice? Giving an advice is just when you have a problem, you ask for a piece of advice. Also, you can ask for a friend. You can ask also for your father, for your teachers, as I say, your tutor. And that is going to be the best way to have a piece of advice. Sometimes you can give an advice, and sometimes you can also be asked for an advice. That is great because, of course, you are going to be able to help people, to help yourself. That is awesome. And you are going to use expressions that are going to be important for you at giving advices, right? But remember, giving an advice is when you need something to be cleared. When you give an advice or ask for advice, you need, in some cases, people who you think they are the best for you. You trust them a lot, and also they trust you because if they come over you, that means that they trust you, of course. Here also we've got modal verbs when we use these advices. For example, in terms of asking or giving advice, we just use a modal verb. That means that you are going to suggest an action to show something is necessary to do. For example, you can say, what could you say? Can I help you? Do you need any kind of help? So that is something that you consider necessary to do. One day you come after school and you see a friend and you look at him or her maybe, and she's kind of, oh my God, I think she's in trouble. I want to help her. So in that moment, so you ask her, hey, are you okay? Can I help you? Oh, and those are just the first entrances in order to give an advice to help that person, which is very important to do. So we have to be very, very quiet, very, you have to be subtle in order to help that person. Okay, in this next chart, we've got advice versus advice. Listen to me, advice versus advice. So we've got, it's the same pronunciation, the same sound, but different handwriting. Here says, despite the difference in meaning and pronunciation, People often get confused about advice and advice. Advice with C acts as a noun. It has several meanings. It's defined as an opinion or suggestion about what someone should do, or a formal note giving information about a transaction. Pronounced with an ending sound like "ice," advice, advice. Example: you should listen to your father's advice. I need your advice on what to wear for my job interview. Muhammad is the best person to ask for advice on cars. We have received the advice that the goods had been dispatched. And here we've got advice with S. This is completely different. Remember, the first one is with the pronunciation eyes, and the other one is with S. Advice with S acts as a verb. It has two definitions: to recommend or inform or notify someone. And the other is that it sounds like an is, advise, advise, advise. It's like a subtle, so subtle. Advise. My father advised me to join the army. So he made a recommendation. He recommended me to join the army. The doctor advised Submit to quit smoking. Mohan advised me to buy a diesel car. Please keep me advised of what is going on here. What is going on here? So, why am I presenting this to you? Because when you have these words, these two words, advice and advise, you have to be very careful between the definitions. One with C means that you should give an opinion or suggestion, and advice with S. That means that recommendation or informing or notifying someone to do something, of course. Okay, so this chart is very important for you. Asking for advice. You can ask this question: what do you think I should do? Okay, that is what you need to do. You need questions in order to start asking for advices. Also, you can say, what should I do? What do you suggest? What ought I do? What can I do for you? So those are questions that are going to help you to ask for advice. And when you want to give an advice, also remember, it's not the same asking for advice or giving an advice. When you are going to give an advice, you can say, if I were you, I would. If I were you, I wouldn't. If I were in your shoes, if I were in your position, I would. You had better. You'd better. You should. Your only option is to. Why don't you? Have you thought about? Have you tried? So these are questions and also expressions that are going to help you to give an advice. And also to ask for advice, you've got here these questions too, which are going to be resources. In order to make a great conversation and also an understandable conversation. Good? Here we've got this chart, and this chart also you've got examples, asking for advice. What should I do? Giving advice. You should. Okay, so here we've got this kind of examples, and these charts are going to help you a lot. Okay, are going to help you a lot. Here I've got, for example, two people at the office. It says, I don't understand this article. What did you advise me? I advise you to translate difficult words. So they are just trying to recommend each other because they work in a team. Good? And here also we've got this little chat in yellow asking for advice and giving advice. So I advise you to look at it and use it frequently. Use it every time as much as possible. Because today's class is going to be completely different, because these expressions asking for advice and giving an advice are going to be always plunged into conversations. So if you practice little by little, you're going to get it easily. So it's not going to be a big deal for you. And here we've got this chart asking for advice. And here we've got two people, and one says, but my father wants me to take up a job, so I don't know what to do. And the other one is like, okay, I am going to give you a piece of advice. Because the first one is just worried, he's concerned about what his father says, or what his father tells. It's because he wants to take up a job. So that's it, what he needs to be advised with is. Remember that. Good? And here we've got a short dialogue. The doctor and the patient. How are you? How are you feeling? I have a cough and a fever, an ache all over. What should I do? Oh, you have a cold. You should stay in bed and rest. You shouldn't eat anything until the fever goes down. Okay, doctor. Thank you. So, in this case, we've got a conversation between the doctor and the patient. And of course, the patient is just getting ill. And he asks for advice. What should I do? Of course, the doctor is going to give him an advice. So in this situation, we've got both asking for an advice and giving an advice. Okay, so this is kind of a very short example how you are going to do it. Well, this is a class of today. Thank you very much. So if you've got any question, Mr. Daniel also could explain and clear it up for you. And if you need extra information, well, I advise you also to take a look at some tutorials in general, and also, well, here we are for you. Thank you very much, my friends, my students. I love you so much. I miss you. We miss you. So we hope you are just doing great today. Bye-bye.